Hallo und sehr guten Tag, mein Herr oder Frau Scorpio. Scorpio, welcome to my channel. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. I shall be doing a 9-card spread with clarifiers, 18 cards total for the Great Mirror, maybe less, more or less that. The Great Mirror is a tool used to see apparent things. These are apparent, they are not transparent, but they may be guides to see certain cycles or motivations that come in the energy of Neptune in the 12th house. So please be open to that for whatever you will. Take what you will, only what you will, and leave the rest. This is a guide, nothing more. So, firstly, I would like to work with the bicycle deck for the Great Mirror. Rather, let's open up with a bridge. The bridge is essentially a pathway that can be burned or walked, constructed, or taken down some way or another. It's essentially the path and the challenge to the path. Okay. Okay. So there is a possibility that you've become numb in some sort of way with a situation that has a bit of history. Something or someone has betrayed you, and because of such, your affections have waned or are in limbo. These affections will make themselves known by their wild quality. There's a wild chapter here. Now, let's see. The bridge is not on steady ground, however, there is a possibility for you to repair it. This has to do with the strength and the desire to do so. There's a very warm and perhaps not even warm, it's on fire. This connection is certainly a source of a lot of tension as well as challenge. And I think you like that about that. There's something wild about you. In the month of July, that has to do with you processing a form of betrayal and getting over it, but then still being motivated to act either in tension or in challenge to something that you feel like you can conquer. Power is very important to you in the month of July, and this empowerment will come to you in the form of wild outbursts of Martian energy, okay? That is the bridge. I'm glad that you've healed up, and it seems to me that there are regenerative cycles of burning. So be careful of inflammation and anything like that. Now, the Great Mirror shall now open. I'm going to be very cool with this. I'm going to try to do this as cool as possible because there's a load of metabolism running, blood that is potentially hot. Let's just clear the energy, and we'll go ahead and get started. Please clear your mind, and we'll go ahead and pull. Relax. Thank you. By the way, though there is a lot of desire for this connection and there is a bridge to walk, it's one filled with tension. So there's going to be very high strong energies from the opposing party, challenges, and these can be conquered using passion. They can be burned, but be careful because you can end up burning yourself as well. Okay, clarity. Right. So I think you're trying to be light in the month of July, light-hearted, light-intentioned, and you're treating this connection with with a little bit more lightness to it. Like you're letting, yes, passions rule and dictate what you do, but you're not really putting much stock into it. The other person is, and there's a hidden nature to you. It's very interesting because there's this impatience and this need to. It could be a story of revenge. Be careful, my dear Scorpio. There could be some sort of slight that happened with the Three of Swords in the reverse, and now you're exacting some form of bridge that involves burning. Um, I think you know what your contentments are, and I think you're willing to sacrifice your own emotional needs at this point in order to exact something, whatever it is, but you're acting out of impatience. You have to realize that there is a gateway to a strong foundation of passion if you will it to be, but you have to be a bit more patient. And the way in which you are emotionally tempting this other connection, you have to be very careful because they could also be tempting like attracts like, and that mode of tempting either the past or the external world by prohibiting, by not giving your cup. There's something about that they're also mirroring with the outside world. So this is a very temptuous, it's a very temptation driven reading so far. So temptation is huge and the need to make action is also huge. Right, so the mirror. Okay. I think you're waiting for truth on a conscious level. You're waiting for the right thing to be said, the right communication to be said. You've held your horses in this connection, and there's a great deal of tantric energy that surrounds you, but also is a point for dissension. This person craves your energy in a certain way, and I think you want them to crave it by bringing them into a mode of communication and truth making with you. That's the only way you'll allow the hold back to be released when it comes to your emotional gift here. You are sort of femme fataling them in some sort of way. This person has gone on a cycle and they've begun anew, but they're willing to consult with you still and perhaps answer any questions you have, but therein lies the riddle. Both of you are not willing to, this person is open to give you very deep insights about what they're going through right now, what cycle they're going through with their external world, how they're beginning something new, and it has to do with their own passionate projects. However, there is some form of cradle that they hold for you, and they're willing to impart some very deep and perhaps spiritual information about the path they've been walking. Likewise, you've tried to move away, but there's something about you that is still trying to reassert your emotional body, and you're also trying to find truth through this emotional body in an emotionally intelligent way with your stillness, with the external world, okay? On their, well, on your end, when it comes to the subconscious realm, what you're trying to bring is essentially a balancing effect. But before we go there, let's check out what is here in the mirror. So this is conscious level, this is your end, their end, and between you two, there is, within the mirror, yep, okay, okay. Yeah, there's a holdback still, an emotional holdback on a conscious level. Both of you are aware that that one person is trying to understand or assert their own independence, but at the same time, there's something about them that is trying to become firm, and therefore there's a holdback. They cannot expend their resources. I think you cannot expend your resources because you're trying to find the structure of your life or the structure of something that makes sense to you, something that you can be proud of. You're not exactly proud of this connection, and there's something that you don't trust. You clearly do not trust this person. for some of their motivations, which has to do of them becoming emotionally cold or something like that. But the King and the Queen of Cups are here. As well, there is an echo of communication coming. So in the month of July, it's very strong because there are two swords here. The Ace of Swords here and the Ace of Swords here. On the conscious level, there's a strong inclination to deliver this sword, to deliver this truth. And if if things are right, in my opinion, I think this person is very steamy for you, and they have a tendency to evaporate or to disappear in a haze of fire and water, a vapor. And there's this ghost-like quality to them that requires you to have clarity and to have some form of truth bringing through communication. Okay, that is what I see on a conscious level. Now back to the subconscious level, there's an obstacle here. You're trying to end a cycle, but there still is warmth in it. But you've been also very, very cold to this person. Very interesting. On their end, they really want to um, romance you in some sort of way. Not only romance, but give you some more of a firm pathwork between you two. But they are really, really stagnant, and that's how they want to be. The way you want to be, even though you're open to communication, you want to turn the cold shoulder. You want to end this cycle, or at least revisit it in a way that is not so burdensome anymore. But there's obstacles here in this connection, and I think you want to provide the obstacle as well by giving the cold shoulder. Now, on their end, they're inactive. They want to be inactive, and they also feel like they're just in doing so. There's something about them that is finally transcending a cycle of thoughts that have led them into fear, and now they're moving out of it. But because of such, they find a sense of stillness. There's a stillness here, and a gaze that is cast from their end to your end. Very interesting, very complicated between you two here in the incidental axis. There is the potential that things may revamp, things may come into clarity when it comes to clear judgment about how things weren't really coming into some form of fruition. There is certainly a duplicity in this connection in which there is an element of pain, but also an element of clear thinking through the pain process. And because of this, realizations are coming about how this might not work. Um, mm, I think it's really up to them to judge if they want to impart this wisdom or impart something. But there's a very steady and distant quality about the way they think and process things. They no longer want to act in fear. Therefore, there is a very strong method in preventing themselves from doing that. They want to ground themselves. On the soul level here, this person is coming from an exploration of what they really want. They find in this connection that it is very hard to work on, but it also is something that they greatly desire. It's something about their path. But it's so strange because they also feel like there is no cooperation here, or perhaps there's a difficulty in exacting what they truly want. It seems like an illusion to them. That's what the soul, the collective feeling is here on the unconscious level. They don't really know. They're willing to work hard on it, but it's like each time they work hard, it becomes a bit more like jaded. Their state of affairs is jaded. Likewise, not only do you have the Three of Cups in reverse here, you have the Six of Cups in reverse here. There's a strong tie that is emotional here, but it is deeply suppressed. Because of such, there is a sense that you are trying to make light of the situation, as are they, but through hard work. The thing is that they don't want to work hard on it right now for some reason. And likewise, you want to find the truth, but you're not willing to share that with them. And there still is an obstacle that you have to transcend before you make the right choice before you find the holistic choice. Okay. Let's see here. Oh God. Okay. When it comes to the sort of outcome with your soul connection, there's a promise here that can no longer be kept, but there's always this sort of distant need to come back and to return to you. As they do such, there's a secret motivation that you are watching them. You're really kind of open, well, kind of, kind of open to making communication, but it's difficult for you to do so. There's something about the way you were brought into this life and the way you were raised as a child that triggers some form of silence, some sort of stutter in the way you communicate with this person. There's a lot of Leo energy here, as well as their North Node is very activated. So there's something here that they want to offer, but they're holding back. There's a very mysterious quality in the way they do things. And not only that, there's a lot of illusion in the way they do things. But there is a promise here. There has been gifts that mean something in this. It's up to you, both of you, to discern what that really is and to see how this person has been dealing with certain things that they've done, the deeds that they do that are not exactly of their highest good, and is learning that lesson right now. So give them time, give them space. That's what I recommend, my dear Scorpio. Thank you. Bye.